So we have been in this journey together. Please welcome Elias. Elias been doing a really great job. Thank you. Take the stage.
Thank you. Thank you for that very generous introduction from the Minister of Finance. Please give him a round of applause for his tireless dedication to the government, and I appreciate his tremendous support. I also want to provide thanks to the Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to the Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, to the Chief of Staff, Dr. Oro Boezi, and all of the honorable cabinet ministers we have here today, to all the dignitaries, and most importantly, to the people of Biafra. Thank you. I also want to provide my personal wishes and prayers for the Prime Minister and his family during this challenging time, and will support him to see him through this moment of challenge. I also want to pass along the regards of my colleague, former Congressman Jim Moran, who wanted to come but could not do so due to some personal obligations. I just want to speak extemporaneously for a moment. I didn't write my speech, but I just want to make some comments about how I got involved in this wonderful movement, in the struggle, because I do think, looking back retroactively, I think there was a divine providence that brought me into this. So it was very interesting. I've known about Biafra for some years. I knew about the indigenous people of Biafra. The IPOB was not involved. One day, by complete accident, online, when doing some research, I came across this Biafra Republic Government Exile website, and I was very surprised. I thought to myself, when did a Biafra government come into being? So I clicked on the website, I looked through it, I became more and more interested, and then I came across a profile of Simon Ekpa, and I thought, who is this Prime Minister Ekpa? And yeah. So I became more and more intrigued. I went to his Wikipedia, I read it, talking about all the work he's doing, how he's based in Finland, and I became more and more intrigued. I was like, this is such an interesting person. I have to find out what's going on here. So I sent an email to the general email of the Biafra Republic Government Exile website, just saying that I was interested in learning more about the organization, because I was genuinely curious. This seemed very fascinating to me. And I received back an email personally from the Prime Minister saying he wanted to speak with me. So we spoke for the first time, and I was immediately impressed. I saw how brilliant he was. I saw that he was a visionary leader. I saw that he knew what he was doing, how tactical he was. But most important, I saw that he had the special, intangible qualities of a leader and a historic leader. And I immediately knew there's something very special here. And this is something I've experienced with. I've dealt with leaders, presidents, prime ministers all over the world of different countries. My own family, I come from a revolutionary family in Greece where we've had many generations of freedom fighters. So I have a good instinct when it comes to who has leadership qualities. And I could tell, okay, this person has something very special. And if I work with him, I think we could actually achieve what he wants to achieve. Yes. So over time, over many months, we developed a very close personal relationship. And also, he saw something in me, and he said, I really want you to get involved in this. I want you to be part of this cause. And so I began formally my lobbying representation in June this year, and I think in a few months, we've changed the course of history. So I think there are larger forces at play, and I'm very glad that divine providence has brought me into this and will see us through this and to the goal that we want to achieve. And when I first started this journey, when I first was presented by the Prime Minister to the Biafran people, I said that I'll not only be a lobbyist, but a fellow freedom fighter for the independence of Biafra. And today I greet you as victorious independence fighters, because that's what you are. Yeah, my friends, this occasion is an illustrious one that will forever be in our hearts and will be passed along to future posterity as a seminal moment in our great struggle for freedom. The independence of Biafra will not only be a symbol of hope for the continent of Africa, but the entire world. Biafra will be a symbol of pride. In the 1960s, President John F. Kennedy and the United States government played an important role in supporting the decolonization of Africa and supporting various African independence leaders and African nationalist movements. President Kennedy understood that supporting the African people rather than the European colonists was not only the right thing to do and the moral thing to do, but in the interests of the United States, which at the time had been competing with the Soviet Union for influence in Africa and throughout the world. Similarly, in this new age of great power competition, the United States has an obligation to support the new African independence movements of the 21st century and put an end to the legacy of neocolonialism in Africa. And Nigeria is one of the worst examples of neocolonialism, a failed British project. And the rise of Biafra will put an end to this nonsense in Africa. As the Biafran government lobbyist in Washington, D.C., I've taken the Biafran message, or we could even say the Biafran gospel, to the highest levels. We have spoken to the Congress. We have spoken to the White House. We have spoken to the think tanks and the decision makers in Washington. As the finance minister said, we have met with and presented the Biafra Charter to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, the third highest level official in the United States government. And we've met with many members of Congress. The results have been overwhelmingly positive. We have received overwhelming support. We've already received many commitments. Not a single member of Congress or U.S. official that I've met with have expressed any support for Nigeria. So we're on the right track, and we're in a very good position as we move into the future. At this convention, we will have speakers from the most prestigious think tanks in Washington, D.C., including the Cato Institute, the American Enterprise Institute, and In Defense of Christians. We have seen the fruits of this engagement with powerful, longtime U.S. diplomats such as Ambassador Tibor Nagy and the American Enterprise Institute, Dr. Michael Rubin, who will be speaking at this convention. Highlighting the plight of the Prime Minister's attention, even critiquing Finland for what's happening, which is very significant. And in fact, there are articles in the news recently talking about the shock that people have about U.S. officials supporting the Prime Minister during the current detention. So this shows you the impact of what we're doing. In the next upcoming U.S. presidential administration, I believe there will be a number of independent African states or emerging African states which will be which will have their independence recognized. Yes. There are already many discussions. There's already talk about, for example, recognizing Somaliland as independent from Somalia in the coming Trump administration. With our work in Washington, D.C., we will guarantee Biafra's on that list of countries to be recognized. We will achieve U.S. recognition of Biafra We're already very close. We're not far away. And once we have that recognition, it will be very easy to get UN recognition, other recognition, as I've said before, where the U.S. leads, others follow. So we will get there. I have also, through my international contacts, interacting with world leaders, have put out feelers about Biafra to other independent states, including in Africa. As you heard, my good friend and my other client, the president of the Eritrean government in exile, recognizes and will be the first country to recognize the United States of Biafra. As President Badarai noted, while Eritrea gained independence from Ethiopia in 1991, the people of Eritrea have been under a brutal dictatorship since that time and have not had their freedom. And President Badarai wants to bring freedom and democracy to his people, and it's been an honor to represent his cause in Washington, and he is very strongly supported by our government over the current dictatorship in Eritrea. So his recognition of Biafra is very significant. And I believe through what he's doing, through other contacts we're making, I think we can get recognition for Biafra from other states in Africa and other countries as well. So we'll be having a lot of conversations outside the U.S. government with other governments that are sympathetic, and I think we can make a lot of international progress. Biafra's struggle for independence is a sublime one, in which the lands of its indigenous people can finally take control of their own destiny. For too long, the people of Biafra have suffered under colonial bondage and now neo-colonial oppression, being forced to be under the Nigerian yoke. With the declaration of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, that is all finished with. Let us strive to create a new nation which will serve its people and be an example to the world. My fellow Biafrans, my fellow freedom fighters, long live independence, long live an independent and sovereign Biafra. Thank you.